The Last of Us. Considered to be one of the greatest games of all time, definitely one of the greatest games of the last generation of consoles. It is a game that has spoken to many people. It is a game that has gotten enough critical success to where a sequel isn't even necessary, but we are getting one. And knowing that, I decided to go through when I got The Last of Us Remastered and play through Grounded mode, the hardest difficulty in The Last of Us. It was DLC with how difficult it was supposed to be. And now, of course, with Naughty Dog, we all know from Crash to Jack and etc. that Naughty Dog is known for having very difficult games. And despite the difficulty, I enjoyed Grounded mode. I enjoyed it a lot. I went through and even very soon after beating Grounded mode, I went to Left Behind and beat that on Grounded mode, and then did Grounded mode plus very quickly after that as well. But there are some things that I want to just talk about with The Last of Us. So this video, as you can tell by the title already, is called "Let's Talk About The Last of Us." Okay, so with talking about The Last of Us, we have to tread very, or we, I should have to tread very carefully because, I will be, just killed in the comments, you know, if I say something, you know, bad. Anyway, um, I do have a few gripes with Grounded mode, and that's what I really want to talk about is Grounded mode. But Last of Us as a whole as well. But I will focus on Grounded mode more. And then maybe if some of you guys want, um, like an extension, me really going in depth of what I feel about The Last of Us and what I think of it, that I can make that at some point as well. But this, for the most part, will dwell more on Grounded mode. Anyway, so there was just one problem I had with Grounded mode, and since, let's just go ahead and get the negativity out of the way. And I will say that one problem is, I don't know if I'm the only one to experience it or not. I doubt it, because that wouldn't make sense. But the one problem I have with Grounded mode is when you're going for a melee hit, and it doesn't matter what melee weapon you have. It could be a lead pipe, it could be a 2x4, anything that's not a one-hit kill melee weapon. You also like upgrade a melee weapon or like an axe or a machete, etc. So you're using like a lead pipe, a 2x4, etc. melee weapon, and um, when you're swinging it, you're mid animation or near the end of your animation, and just the AI. Typically, stalkers, from my experience, are the most common to do this, but it can be done by normal AI as well and other infected. Um, but you'll be near mid animation or near the end of it, and instead of connecting like you should, I found that a lot of the times on Grounded mode, the AI would just get priority over me, and it would just make the melee animation that I was about to do to them null and void. And I died actually quite a few times because of that. And like I said, I don't think I'm the only one to experience that because that just wouldn't make sense. And it's probably an intended part of the game on Grounded, but I just figured I should mention it because that's my only real gripe with Grounded mode. Otherwise, the mode is just done really well. And the other parts were just difficult because I made them difficult. But yeah, that was the only thing I have to say about Grounded mode as a negativity. Um, because everything else for the most part, like I said, I made it difficult in every other aspect. Um, yeah, Grounded mode difficult, but if you stay patient and you're just really patience is key to getting through it. Just also stealth everywhere. But anyway, that's all I have to say about the negatives, and I will get back to you in a moment to talk about some of my hardest parts of grounded mode. I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, so like I said before, so I want to talk now about some of my hardest parts of grounded mode because I did take some notes while I was playing of grounded mode, and then I made some like rewrites to the notes for what I felt was difficult in terms of grounded mode plus. And I'm sorry about that. Like I've said before, my audio setup is garbage. It's hot garbage. Yeah. So I made some notes with grounded, and then going to grounded plus, I took some rewrote some notes. So you know, I'm just gonna hold this. Screw it. Just gonna hold this as a wheel over here to my computer to look at the notes. So, right away, I have to say the hardest chapter to do in the Last of Us and Left Behind on Grounded is enemy of my enemy from Left Behind, and it's not even the whole chapter. It's just that final encounter where you're Ellie trying to get back to Joel. That is a nightmare on Grounded, and I'm glad that Left Behind doesn't have Grounded Plus because I didn't want to do that again. It took me forever to beat it. But other than that, the next hardest thing for me was the on Grounded mode. It was pretty much honestly all of winter, except for shooting the deer with the arrows. I was really good at that the first time through, and I choked on plus with that. I don't know. It was a little weird, but yeah, the first time through, the very first thing you do is taking the arrows to shoot the deer. I was very good at that for whatever reason. But anyway, yeah, so the whole winter scene was kind of difficult for me the first time through. Most notably was the David boss battle because on Grounded, he has the hearing of a clicker and the sight of... He's got better sight than everyone in the game and the hearing of a clicker on Grounded mode. So it's annoying as hell. But I can't say his boss battle, because you know Last of Us doesn't really have boss battles, but his boss battle of sorts, it was only difficult the first time on Grounded though, because on Grounded Plus I actually beat him very quickly and easily. I died once, but that was my own fault, and I just beat him the next time through. So I don't know. Plus, I can't say it was harder than Enemy of My Enemy because when I finally did beat him on Grounded mode, not Grounded Plus, Grounded mode, I beat him like 3 minutes. And I beat him quicker than that in Grounded mode Plus. So, whatever. And then the next hardest thing for me, I will say as well, I've got it listed here as the bookstore encounter of Alone and Forsaken in Pittsburgh. Now, this is another thing where it wasn't difficult. It's not difficult to get through the bookstore. It's only difficult if you try and take everybody out. Because I looked up a lot of different strategies to do it. And I tried them all. I tried some of my own strategies and it took forever. Because I was trying to go through like a complete, like all collectibles and conversations and Ellie's jokes throughout the first time through. And it was annoying. But the second time through, since I got Ellie's jokes after that, yeah. I just snuck my way through, and it was a lot easier. So, yeah. But after that, the next hardest part was, I said personally, shooting with David, both parts. When you're in that first building, and then you're in the coal mine, where David finds like 2 of his men dead for quite a while and tells Ellie to grab their gear. The first part, I had trouble with on Grounded and Grounded Plus for whatever reason. I died so many times doing it. And not to mention the checkpoint is right at the very beginning if you die. So there's no checkpoint if, David already opens the door. You go right back to the beginning of that. So that's annoying as well. But the second part, when you're in the coal mine, I found it easy on Grounded Plus, where it was very difficult for me on Grounded. But on Grounded Plus, I just stuck in that little like hallway where it was very linear, and it worked out. I got through it the first time through, and I really did enjoy that. And then next up, I said Ellie's Escape from Winter, where it's after you play as Joel for the first time, and then you get the cutscene where Ellie says the best line ever, where she breaks David's finger. Then Ellie's Escape after that is what I said was difficult for me next. But again, it's another thing where, since I knew what I was doing for Grounded Mode, when I hit the Grounded Mode Plus in that section, I got through it very quick and very easy. So there's another thing where I didn't know what I was doing because it had been a while since I played the game last. But I got through it, and Grounded Mode Plus, so simply enough, if you know what you're doing, it won't be difficult there. But something that is difficult for me every time is the hotel basement. And the only reason it's difficult are the stalkers. There's 4 of them that you have to kill, because if you don't, you'll run into them, they'll kill you because they get priority over everything you do. I'm not joking. So, the first time through, they just kept killing me and killing me and killing me, and then I finally figured out a way to do it. I would take an upgraded lead pipe, use the scissors on the end of it to take out one guy, and of course, for Grounded Mode Plus, I could do that multiple times because the upgraded shivs. But I take out a stalker or 2 with that, and then on Grounded, I just used, like a brick or a bottle. Like I ran back to where the door would be that's locked, and then used that, beat them, like threw it at them, and melee hit 1 hit kill. Worked out. But on Grounded, it was a pain. But the bloater, you would think the bloater in that part would be the most difficult thing. No, it's just the stalkers. Because the bloater, you can just craft a Molotov before you start dealing with the stalkers, and then throw that at the bloater, run right by him, swipe the card, open the door, and even if he throws his like sack full of spores at you, if you're through the door already, the checkpoint is on the other side of the door, so you're good. Other than that, one thing that is always difficult for me on Grounded Mode, Grounded Plus, like every difficulty, it seems to be difficult for me, and that is escape the city with Henry and Sam. For whatever reason, I do like a bunch of different strategies, and I can't do escape the city for whatever reason. I mean, of course, I get through it, but it's always a pain in the ass, and I don't know why, but yeah, I don't know why. But after that, the next hardest thing is I have listed hanging upside down in Billstown. Now, this is thing I specifically mentioned to, or this is a thing I specifically mentioned to put. It's only difficult on Grounded if you don't know that you can't just let them run up to you, mash square, and get the automatic headshot. On lower difficulties, you can do that. I'm not sure about Survivor, but on hard down, you can do that. Though Joel will automatically grab them, and then you can mash square. He'll punch them away. You get an automatic lined up headshot. So that works. But Grounded, no. If you wait for them and they get too close, they'll automatically just take a chomp right out of your neck. So just after a few shots, just automatically reload yourself. Don't wait for the automatic reload, and just make your shots. Just make your shots count. And Joel will pull out the revolver there, so it's like 2 shots for infected, 3, maybe 4 for clickers, but runners it's 2. So yeah, just don't on Grounded. Just don't expect to be able to let them come to you, mash square, automatic headshot. Not gonna happen. And then the next thing I have, there's two more. And that's the first big infected counter, which is in the downtown area, where you have to take out all the infected, and so Ellie and Tess can come down, and then they can open up the door. So this one is another one like Escape the City, where just no matter what I do, no matter what strategy I use, it always seems it takes me, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 tries to get through it correctly. Not correctly, but just get through it. And it is annoying, but you know, it's still early in the game, so I can't. It's just me making mistakes. It's me doing the, some things not exactly the same as I did them the first time through to get through it. So either way, it's difficult, but it's not that difficult. And then the last thing is Ellie rides off to protect Joel. This is another thing where I try to stealth my way through it after it's not when you're riding the horse because you really can't die there. But, when you go through the house and you have to try and sneak your way up and around, that way you can jump into the building before, David chokes you out. There's just something about it that it wasn't that difficult. Like, it was not that bad, but stealthing my way through never seems to work. And you're supposed to stealth with Ellie, so I don't know. It just never seemed to work for me. So, of course, I'll just always take out a few guys. Typically, all the guys that are in the whole kind of like first part of the area with stealth, and then I'll just crouch walk my way through and just try and use any sniper shots, arrows, and long distance take everyone out. If you can save up a lot of arrows, then that area should not be difficult at all. And if you know a way to stealth through it with, leaving pretty much everyone alive, maybe just taking out a few people, let me know. But that's what I find to be difficult, and of course my problems with The Last of Us as well, as you heard earlier. But this part, of course, was just everything I found difficult with grounded mode of The Last of Us. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you enjoyed about grounded mode, about the game, and what you found, difficult, because I really want to know, and I look forward to reading your comments, assuming you've played The Last of Us. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, share, do all the good stuff. You know it. Until next time, I will see you later. Bye, guys.